We are live.
We are live.
Yes.
How's it going?
It's pretty good. I'm nice and toasty. I figured I'd, it was super cold in here, so I figured I'd just throw every piece of agility swag on that I had and drink from my agility swagged container, and it'd be all good.
Good. I too came with my agility swag.
Nice.
So we're all set. We may as well have branding while we're here.
We didn't even talk.
No. Accidental coordination, a happy accident, as Bob Ross would say.
Well, one thing, why do you think the bicycle fell over?
Why?
It was too tired. Yeah. Golfers, they always have an extra pair of pants. Guess why?
Why?
This one, because they got a hole in one. Oh, jeez. All right. Okay.
We're starting off strong.
Oh, yeah. No, those were my best ones.
So for those of us who were here for the previous webinar, that was very Web Studio, entry level Web Studio focus, kind of going over the basics, showing off Web Studio. What is it? How can content creators make the most out of Web Studio? The idea for this one is to kind of keep it more focused towards our partners and our developers and how easily they can unlock Web Studio and use its full potential for their users and for their content editors. That being said, I want to kick it over to you, but first I want to ask you, where does a creative spider do their best work?
Well, I don't know. How would I know that?
In their Web Studio.
Oh, that's pretty cool. With the web, I get it.
Right?
Spiders, sure.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right.
Strong too.
I love it. So this is an AMA, so feel free to shoot questions into the chat. Anything at all about anything at all. We answer life questions, anything, how to best stay warm, spend your days. We'll talk about that stuff too, if needed. But first, I'm just going to share my screen and we're going to get right into it. So does this share work better? Let's do the share. That's maybe the better. You tell me if you can't see the screen or anything like that. But what I'm going to do is just go through an instance where we have a Next.js website and it's not connected at all to Web Studio, and what does that look like, and how can we make that a better experience? So what's really nice is that Web Studio does work for folks even if they don't have the SDK installed at all. So you can still preview. As you can see, I was able to preview the site. I can still work on it. I can click through it, all that sort of stuff. It doesn't follow me when I click through it, which is kind of annoying, but it does. If I was to actually go to a different page in here, it would load that page in Web Studio properly. So that is kind of nice that it'll follow what you're doing, but it doesn't have any sort of live editing and stuff like that. And you'll see that with this teeny little icon up here that you hover over saying, hey, some features are limited or disabled. You click on that and it's going to actually help you do that. It's going to go here. It's going to say, hey, this is what you need to do. And there's a sort of step-by-step process that you can go through to install stuff. I'm actually going to click into the SDK here. And what's going to tell me is how to connect this in. And it's going to give me this script that is the key. So essentially just adding this script into my code is going to connect Web Studio so that it'll follow me around. And then I can start decorating components so that it'll do that. So if I jump into my code, I happen to have my code right here. I'm going to just create a script tag. And I just messed that whole thing up. Here we go. Well, that's a strange behavior when I tried to paste that in. Hang on. It's you, Brendan. You're making me nervous.
It's me.
Copy.
I have that effect on people.
Well, it happens. So I'm just going to repaste this here to make sure it's the correct script. And oh my goodness, that's so wacky. All right. So the script is correct. You'll notice that I'm in Next.js, so I actually have this funny script tag that actually comes from, if I find the import for it, where the heck is that import? Here, next script. So it's not the exact same. If I was in a PHP or a .NET website, I could just use the regular lowercase script, but in a Next.js site, I don't know, they like to have control of all the scripts. So I can go through and just drop that in there. You can drop it just after the body tag or just before the end of the body tag, doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm actually just gonna push that up and we'll see what happens. So this will take about a minute. So we've got time for more dad jokes if we want. Do you got another dad joke there, Brendan?
I'll save mine.
Oh, okay.
As many as you.
Oh, geez. Okay. All right. Well, I'm out right now. I'm fresh out. But actually, there's an interesting sort of dad joke kind of thing that it's like, Remember when you're a kid and you're afraid of the dark? Well, now as an adult, when I see my electric bill, I'm afraid of the light.
Same.
Right. So I don't know if many folks here are sort of like developers or if you're marketers, but just kind of understanding DevOps is really important with your website. And so it's always good to have your code hooked up to DevOps so that it doesn't take you long to push code out to QA, UAT, and production. Now I'm pushing directly to production right here, right now, because this is not a production website. But checking in my code to a certain branch and make it automatically available on QA, and then having like an approval process to go through that's through your Git. It's a really nice way to get that set up. So if you don't have that set up, it's another thing we can actually help you get set up. Or if you're not sure about that, we can connect you with your development team. It's something that will change your life. Is if you're doing manual deployments, don't feel bad. I did them for years, but you can make your life a lot easier by hooking up great DevOps. So I can see that I checked my code into the main branch. It deployed here. So now I'm just going to go out of Web Studio and come back in. And it's going to tell me that, oops, see the icon changed? It's fully installed. So not only did it detect the script, but it detected a few other things. And I'm just going to go through those. So yes, the script is here, but we also add a tag to the body of the main layout page. So data agility GUID. So this actually is the GUID of my website. So if you're not familiar, you can see the GUID for your website here. You can also see it in your settings under API keys. This is the GUID. So this is like the identifier for this instance of agility, kind of like your project, okay? So I decorate my body tag with that. And so that helps the SDK find out that, like, yes, this is actually attached. And then I can actually start going in to my components now and decorate them. And you'll see this site actually has a few components already decorated. So this component is decorated. You see how I hover over it? I can get the little edit icon on the component, and then I get the hover icon on my field too. And if I click into that, it means that I can live edit this field. So that's pretty nice. Hi there. So really nice way to work with your stuff. And I've got some gremlins going on today, so that's fun. And then when I save it, it'll actually refresh over here as well. So there's a bunch of things that are now keeping these things connected, all right? But if I have a new component, which I wrote sort of as part of a video series that's coming out really soon. By the way, Brendan, there's a new video series coming out on YouTube that will showcase actually developing and going through low-level building a site with Next.js and had the CMS. So that should be fun. This is the example site that I've been using for that. But you'll see this is a new component called the team listing component. It's not decorated. So I can edit it and everything, but it's not going to give me, anything for live editing and stuff like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and decorate this component. So I'm going to go find the component called team listing. And of course, I've totally forgotten the syntax. So I'm going to have to copy the syntax from another component. So I just happen to have that right here. And at the top of the component, there's this tag called data agility component equals, and I'm going to put the content ID of that component that's there. And luckily, the content ID comes in a couple of different places. So in this case, I have the content ID right from the content item that I got at the top of my component. So I can decorate the component. That's step one. All right. And where you decorate the component, if I did it in here, by the way, it'll actually be sort of less on the outside. So you can actually pick the div that you want to decorate your component on. And now I have to decorate my fields. So the two fields that are going to be editable here are my heading and this content field here. Unfortunately, linked content fields, we don't support editing directly in those yet, but that is coming. That is something that we're working on. So I'm just going to decorate these two fields here right off the top of the bat. So again, I'm like a fish and I can never remember what the syntax is. Data agility field. So I decorate the places where I have those. My heading is here. So this is my heading field. That's done. And then I'm going to do there's a field called content. I'm going to put the wrapping tag there. I'm going to decorate that one. So that's done. Let's push that up now. Deco. So that when this pushes up, this is going to build on Vercel really quickly. Doesn't really matter where you have it deployed, by the way. Vercel was just the easiest sort of auto deploy that we can set up with agility. Netlify is pretty easy too, but you can also do like Azure, AWS, any of those other things. Happy to answer questions about how to deploy on those environments with different things. We'll wait for that to deploy. It should take about a minute. So it's building here right now. But while I'm doing that, I want to show a kind of a special case that's not necessarily decorating a component, but decorating a content item that's going to be used as part of a dynamic page. So as a reminder, so a dynamic page, let's just unpin this sitemap over here. So you can see I have my regular sitemap tree here, and this blog post page is like, it's got a different icon, might be hard to see on the screen, but that is representing a page that's built from a list. So this page over here is built from the blog post lists. So every item on this page, underneath this page is basically an item in that list, right? And so when I decorate this component, I'm actually decorating it so that I can edit these posts that are in here. So let's go to one of these guys, travel photography tips, and that's how it works through. And so now I'm actually editing this content through here. And of course, this is being a poopy pants on me. So I'll go through here, and it should, right, amazing places to visit in Canada, nice. So now I can actually get a nice experience in here. So if I just show what's going on in the code for that, let's go to my post details component, and I'm doing the exact same thing, except instead of putting the content ID of the component, which is actually up here, it gets passed in with my dynamic in the unloaded module props. The content I want is from the dynamic page item, which in this case is my blog post. All right, so there's kind of two different concepts at work here. One is the component, but the other one is the dynamic page item that's going to be rendered inside that component when it's a dynamic page. And you can use that for anything you want. It could be for like an employee bios. If you want to have a page for each person, maybe you want to have a page for like the author of your blog post, and you have a list of blog authors. You could do a page specifically for that. The sky's the limit. You can do as many dynamic pages as you like. They all show up on the sitemap, and they all allow you to decorate them in the same way. Cool. I will say there's one special field on here that's the post content, which is HTML field. We set data agility HTML equals true on that one. So that will not unencode your HTML for you as you type it. So that's one thing if you do have an HTML field, which you shouldn't use too many of because you don't want to have too much raw HTML in your content. That's my recommendation, but that's how you do that. So let's go back to agility now. And let's go back to that team listing component and see if what we did actually worked. And lo and behold, it did. Yay. So if I click on here now, I can actually edit this team listing. This is great. Oh my gosh. And I've got like gremlins galore here. I don't know what's going on with my computer right now. I wonder if it's because of the screen share.
That might be it.
My copy and paste was all messed up. And then now this is messed up. Here we go. This is great.
There's always something though when you're streaming.
Oh, geez. Okay, cool. So we've got live editing. It's all there. And it's, I think, a really nice experience. And then couple that with, I mean, this is something that I've noticed lately just working on our website that's hooked up to Web Studio. It just makes me feel good working in Web Studio. You talked about this earlier, Brendan, right?
Yeah, the novelty hasn't worn off, like just the new UI design. And every time I go in there and have to work on something and I'm in Web Studio, I'm just like, man, this is cool. Like, it's actually fun. We built something really intuitive that's just fun to work in.
Yeah. And I love the idea, like right now, you're working in this instance too, Brendan, and I just feel less lonely. I feel like, he's there with me too. I first noticed it with Google Docs and with like SharePoint documents with Word and stuff, where you can see someone else is in there. Sometimes it's in Excel. It just makes you feel like you're not working all by yourself.
Totally.
So do you want to just show a couple of those things? We haven't had too many questions come through. Let's just show collaborative features. There's 3 tabs along here. One is the preview tab. So this is what you normally work in if you're just like working with content. But then if I want to get into commenting mode, where I actually want to, collaborate on this in a visual way, and say, maybe I might want to tag Brendan on this and say, hey, Brendan, what do you think of this? And I can see Brendan's actually on this item and push this comment to him. He's going to see that pop up in his notifications over here, and he can go directly to that comment and he can work on it. So this is very much, I think this is like the Figma style experience for working with comments. And it means that he can react to that comment, and we can kind of treat this as a mini workflow within there. He can reply to it. If he replies to it when I'm not there, I'll get an email. So it's kind of a really nice kind of workflow to work with. And then when we're good with stuff, this is awesome. yay, it's great. And then I can resolve this and it'll disappear. So by default, only unresolved comments show up in here, which is really nice. So pretty nice way to kind of work with a collaborative sort of methodology inside agility. Really like that. Something else that's new that we haven't had a chance to talk about, but I just thought, hey, let's just brag a little. If you're using regular workflow comments, workflow notifications only went to email, but we released an update last week where they will actually come into your inbox in here as well. So in the blog post, I have this set up right now where we have workflow alerts going to both Brendan and I for if there's something that's approved or declined or requested for approval. If I could ask you, Brendan, to go and just request approval on something randomly in this list, if that's possible, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Like, work faster. Let's go. I've been waiting here for moments.
The pressure.
Yeah, I think you can type faster. What's going on? What are you typing about? What are you writing a blog post about?
Just how cool you look in all your agility swag.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm actually not getting the option to request approval.
Oh, did I probably set up this?
There we go. Got it. I got it. We're good.
You got it? I think you did great. Hey, look, I think you requested approval on something because I got a notification up here, and there it is. So I have this task now on this item. So first of all, since I'm an approver, I automatically get a task, and I'm actually not seeing that approver just yet. I got a notification for the previous one that came through, but it did create a task for me on this one, so I can actually see here what Brennan's working on. And then we get into the multi-user editing experience as well. So pretty nice way of working with stuff, and you can see it's awaiting approval, and it's all good. Now, if I wasn't in agility, which is more likely not always, but if you're not in agility, the workflow notifications will still go to your email only if you didn't interact with them here. So what's nice is that if I interact with this workflow notification there, then it marks it as read, and then I don't get the extra email, which is kind of a nice addition to how workflow notifications are working. So hopefully the people will appreciate that and get the more of you're working together with your team, bringing folks into the tool more, and then getting more usefulness out of that notification system that's there. And Slack is coming next. So Slack notifications will be the next one where and you'll have the option of picking, hey, do I want to get notifications through Slack or email or both? Because a lot of people don't prefer to get emails. They just want to have a place in Slack to go get them. So yeah. I know if it's anything like Jira, I'll get like 10,000 of them because I get so many Jira notifications, but it's so useful because I never lose track of things. I was losing track of stuff before we started using tools like that, which is why, I think tools that work really well become the inspiration for other tools, right?
And hey, Joel, what's the Headless Horseman's favorite drink?
Is it milk?
A decappuccino. Come on.
Oh, that's the best one ever. I really like that one. Did you come up with that one, or was that AI generated?
The AI generated ones were not worth using. They're not quite there yet.
Okay, cool. All right, I like it. All right, so that came direct from.
I just wanted a headless one. Stay on brand.
Oh, I didn't even. That went right over my head.
Oh.
Cool. So this is an AMA. I've been talking for a long time. We've had no questions, so I guess everyone is just here to kind of just learn stuff and find out things, which is always fun. Does anybody have any questions? Brendan, do you have any questions? I have questions.
Do you have questions?
So many.
Do you talk to yourself a lot?
I actually don't talk to myself, but I have lots of questions.
Yeah. I don't have any questions specifically about Web Studio, but speaking of learning stuff as well, as far as things like this go, I think and future AMA that we should do is around modeling and architecture.
Yes.
We might be able to line that up with the new agility course that we have coming out soon for the Academy, which will focus on kind of like a self-guided lesson for modeling and architecture, and just giving you the basics for that, which should be out in the next few weeks, which I'm pretty excited about too.
Right on. How do people find that?
Academy.agilitycms.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
So on the website?
On the website.
That's great. Watch out for that. Do people have to pay to do that? And, how do people get access to that?
Yeah, totally available for everyone. You still have to create a new login when you sign up. Hopefully, we'll get to the point where they're just connected to your existing Agility account. But as long as you create an account, you'll be able to go in there and have a full access to our course library. We have 3 different learning paths right now that'll take you through, what is headless, what is Agility CMS, right through to how to architect and model for Agility, and how to create and publish content, how to use Web Studio.
Yeah. Awesome. All those things. Learn all the things.
Learn everything.
We actually have a couple questions from Matt. Thank you so much, Matt. So when will the YouTube series launch? That's coming up very soon. So first of all, it's going to be here, I believe. I think that's the channel for our YouTube videos. We're cleaning up all that stuff. So Jesse on our marketing team has been going crazy on that. So that's amazing. That's going to launch, I believe, Monday at the latest. And so that's going to be 1 video per week, and we'll just keep on going with that. There'll be some other videos in there. It was interesting when we bring new employees on board, we always ask them, hey, what's missing? What would you like to see more of when you were trying to learn about agility? What did you wish you had seen? Almost everybody says, I wish I had more videos. And the videos that you do have, I feel like I really get to know somebody. So that's why we're going to go back to that and put in more videos. Second question from Matt, when can I get a hat with the old agility logo on it? So I put this on today because I was actually just cold. But then I thought, I'll wear it for this because it's fun. So many people like the old logo better than the new logo. It's okay to be wrong, but you can't get these. This is probably from circa 2006, maybe 2007. So we should bring the old hats back. I do like them. They're nice hats. And
we should do like a line of like classic swag. And I still think that somewhere on the agility site, we should hide the old logo. Just as a little Easter egg.
Okay. All right. Cool. I actually remember back in, I think it was 2006, 2007, working with a designer to design this logo so that it wouldn't be confused with anybody else. Whereas now we have a triangle is like everyone has a triangle. It's like
the cool triangle though.
It is the most common logo ever.
I wanted to highlight this comment too from Nagapriya. We're excited to implement Web Studio in our Agility instance, and we'll come back with any questions, suggestions. Always. If you're ever working on this, you can always come back, reference the recording of this afterwards, reference the docs that we have, but also never hesitate to actually reach out, shoot us a chat, shoot us an email, and just ask. Always happy to hop on a call and help you get everything set up.
Right on. I love that you can bring the question right up on the thing there. That's
I know.
awesome.
Look at that, right?
Yeah, you and your technology, you're doing great.
I'm
glad you're here today.
Yeah, thank you. Dab. That's not cringy at all.
Love it. Cool. Anything else new in agility, Brendan, that we should hear about, that we should know about?
I think we have some exciting new stuff that's coming up pretty soon, but I think maybe we save those and tease them in our next AMA. Make people have to come back,
Yeah, I'm bad because I always give away stuff too early. So you're probably smart to reel me in on that.
Don't want to give all of our secrets away in one video, Joel. Come on.
Definitely. One of the biggest things that we're working on over the last year was just Web Studio notifications and just bringing more people, making it easier to bring people back into the platform. And when you're in the platform, to make it feel less lonely and to be more connected and collaborative with your team. That really follows with our core value of collaborate. But we also have a core value of learn it and teach it. So that's something that we're going to double down on a lot this year too, is just doing more teaching. And learning from our customers is something that we've done with our feedback loop a lot, and turning those learnings into teachings for other customers is something we really want to work on. So that's something that I'm excited about this year. Hey, it's almost not the beginning of 2025 anymore.
How are we already through a month?
I don't know, but it was a good month. It was a good month. January didn't suck this year. It sucked last year. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. It could have been worse.
Well, I hope you're out there staying healthy and staying warm. I know I'm in my toque, and maybe we'll figure out. We need an agility swag store just to order these toques.
I think that's a good idea. We'll circle back on that.
All right. Loop in.
All right. Appreciate everybody who joined. Again, there will be a recording available. If you want to rewatch anything, just if you want to rewatch our top tier dad jokes, whatever the case may be, you can do that. And keep an eye out for our next AMA. Appreciate everybody joining.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye.